Hello YouTube. So you join me today. It's the 1st of June. The world is starting to get going again. I'm going away on a test day tomorrow, going to Paul Ricard. It's the first time traveling across Europe since the whole lockdown thing, so hopefully it'll be good. Who knows, until tomorrow I suppose. So anyway, I thought I'd just get a bit done on my RX7 before I have to go and pack my bag and get ready to go. So as I went through last time, I've made this boost pipe, which we're going to use the bead roller to put a bead on the end so it won't pop off. I'm also going to take the top intake off and start removing the injectors and the fuel rails. One's aftermarket, one's standard. We'll go through that when we get to it. These are the parts I've got to fit. Got some 1700 Injector Dynamics injectors, some 1050X Injector Dynamics injectors. We've also got a pair of Radium fuel rails, which are lovely, and the fitting kits for them. And we've also got a flex fuel sensor, so we can start getting the rails fitted and the injectors fitted and flex fuel sensor mounted. I've got some fittings, but I'm gonna have PTFE lined hoses made. I've got a friend of mine who makes them and crimps the ends on rather than sort of home built ones like I had before. He's gonna do me a good deal and we're gonna make a little video of doing them. So yeah, let's crack on. Okay, so with the top end take off, yes, it does look like a mess. So this is my HKS EVC boost controller, which needs to come off because it's going to be controlled by the ECU now. And the valve, it just uses a normal Mac style boost control side, 3-port valve. So over here, move the torch. This is the old fuel rail, as new, and the standard primary rail. So we're going to have to tear all this off, drop a bit of fuel. It's all for sale. If anyone wants to buy it, there we go. So all we've got left holding it on is this fuel line, which goes to my regulator. We'll be keeping this regulator, just adding a fuel pressure sensor in it. Let's see if we can try and stand you there. That's all the old tat out. Got a bit of a sweat on from doing that, it's quite warm today. Before I took the top off, this was just going to be a case of putting some fuel rails in, changing some lines, adding a couple of sensors, put it back together, get it tuned on this ECU. Now I've not learnt what a mess it is, but remembered what a mess it is in there. There's a reason why I haven't looked in there for a while, and that's because it upsets me. Yeah, I might have to have a bit of a tidy up. The wiring is what it is, because at the moment we're doing the plug and play. Obviously I need to be able to test that to make sure that it's something I could sell. The end goal is to make a loom for this car, which obviously makes sense. That's one of the things I do for customers. So it is a bit upsetting how messy it is. We're going to try and fix that as best we can this time. Obviously some of those vac pipes and stuff we're not going to need anymore. Okay, so these are the standard 1993 primary injectors. These are 550cc. These are some lovely clips that I made. Well, I didn't make the clips, but I made the pipes. I swaged the end of these so they didn't pop off, and I trimmed some bits off this and I bent it quite a lot. And these are something that I added. So they're Bosch Motorsport 1680cc, but I'm going for Injector Dynamics. The possibility that I want to run at E85, these would be safe. Hence why I'm changing the fuel lines. It's all been on there for a few years. It's the fuel temperature sensor for the standard ECU. Obviously just cable tied, so it's still connected. I still thought it was there. We're obviously going to have a fuel temperature sensor as part of flex fuel sensor. So we're keeping that functionality. It's useful to be able to log, useful to be able to see whether my fuel pump's working too hard and heating up the fuel. While we've got the top off, we can also see coil pack kit down there, which I made this loom, plugs into this connector up here and a relay. Sold quite a few of these kits, pretty popular. A lot of people having the same problems with these sort of cars, of ignition breakup. Yeah, I stopped looking at that because it's depressing. So as part of these injectors, you can see I've got this ring here, which I'm just flicked out. It's also got a diffuser, which hopefully will come out without breaking. That. She's a beauty. So this sits in front of those injectors like this. Oh yeah, actually it's that way around. And diverts the spray pan. Doesn't look great. The seal's not great. No. Anyway, we get rid of all that. Completely unnecessary. Right, YouTube, we are trying something new. We've got a chest mount, so we've got full use for a little unboxing. Look at these bad boys. Oh, look at them. And that is a lovely product. It's nice when you pay for something, but then you just appreciate just the time that's gone into it. Also, things like this. This could have been a lot simpler, probably cheaper for them to make, but why would you when you can make something like this? Whew. Makes me wish I had a lathe. All in good time. So, these are the bits we need for the primary rail, which is this one. Now you'll notice on these, I've got -6s on either end of the secondary rail, -8s on either end of the primary rail. This is because I'm basically running one pump into each side of there with their own separate fuel lines from the back, then using this as a T-piece to then come in here and out of here. Don't ask me why, that's how it was in the old one, and it worked pretty well. Basically, it means that there's one pump for each big injector. If you do one for each and have one each going in, then these injectors are obviously going to use more on flat chat than these ones. So how is the fuel going to get back to that one? You've only got the limitation of one pump, whereas this way I've got 2 pumps feeding. So that's the way I'm going to do it. Whether it's right or not, if you've got any ideas before this is all finalised, I don't really know what I'm doing with my hands, just making gestures because I can. If you've got any suggestions, then just let me know in the comments. So now we've got these adapters for the bottom, for the primary rail. Lovely. We've got the new injectors. Leave it with no bolts in, so leave these washers to one side. So now we've got the secondary rail, again very nice. I've already Loctited these ports on, just a tiny bit, just so when I take the fuel lines off, you can crack the fuel line off without holding this normally. It just makes it a bit easier. We've got these little bungs, which are going to go in 2 of these injector holes. There's 4 of them, even though there's only 2 on this engine. You can use all 4 if you use it for the excessive low inlet manifold, or the RE manifold uses these 2 inner ones. So the 2 outer ones for an REW, like mine, 2 inner ones, we're going to blank off. So we touch a little dab on there. Drop her in. This is a 1/8 Allen key, so it's quite fiddly. Yeah. 2 ports blocked. We're ready to go on. We've now got these lower hats, which are the same as the primaries. Just gonna give them a little lube up. Everything fits lovely so far in this kit. Now we're going to grab these bad boys. Let's just work out the orientation. So lovely. No pinched O-rings, which is great. You can tell that they're not pinched because you can turn them easily. So now we'll leave the bottom ones for now. We just need to work out which set of these spacers we're going to need. If any. Ooh, I need some. This water pipe might be in the way a little bit, and we'll have to rejig. It's horrendous wiring. Okay. Oh, it looks magnificent. So that's the job done. We're going to be looking at the taller of the 2 thermal washers for this top one. That does look really good. I'll just bring you around here. Move this out of the way. There they are, in all their glory. Nice modern new injectors. So like I said, there's going to be 2 pumps, one feeding into each side. I'm going to use a 180-degree bend here, and I'm going to use a 90 out of here, which will come round into a 90 for that one. And then from here back to the regulator. We also need to incorporate the flex fuel sensor in this sort of area. Not really sure where I'm going to put it yet. So guys, that concludes RX7 time today. Got the fuel system stripped out. The injectors and the fuel rails are still in there, so they're blocking all the holes of the engine. We've taped the top of the engine. We've got some of the fuel rep old lines off. We're gonna have to measure them up and measure for the new ones. So that's gonna take a bit of time. As I said, I'm going away testing now for 4 days. So we'll resume at the weekend, by which time hopefully you guys will have watched this one. I'd like to say thanks for the support. I know I've only just started, but there's been a lot of nice comments, a lot of pointers on things I can do differently. I'm trying to mix it up a bit, using different stands and mounts and talking differently. I've added some merchandise to my web shop. So I've added hoodies in the same design as this. So one on the breast and a big one on the back. They're black, they're available in all sizes. I'm looking to add some more things like t-shirts. So they'll be in due course. Just let me know if anyone wants anything specific to support the channel and the brand, I suppose. Thanks from me, and thanks from Mazda.
Perfect.